Daf Nun Aleph Amid Aleph, 4 lines from the top. Yomi name Rav Chisda. They asked Rav Chisda, Misha Achal V'Shasa. V'loi Berech. If a person ate and drank, he did not make the bracha. He forgot to make the bracha. Ma'u Sheyachzer V'Yivarech. Now that he wants to continue eating, should he now make a bracha before he continues eating? He said to them, Misha Achal Shum V'Reich Anoid. If someone ate garlic and there's an odor from his mouth, should he continue eating it so there should be even worse? Meaning he did something wrong. He ate without making a bracha. Should he continue eating without a bracha? Of course not. Of course he should make a bracha before continuing eating. Well, perhaps we should say, therefore, that even if a person can finish eating completely, he finished the Suda, then he should make a bracha after the fact. And where do we see a precedent for doing that, for making a bracha after the fact? It's Anya Talval Ba'ala. A person is taival. After the tefillah, he makes the bracha on the tefillah, Asher Kiddushanu ala tefillah. He makes it after the fact. The Gemara says, no, you cannot bring a rye from that. Previous, prior to that, the person was not roy to make the bracha. Over here, the bracha should have been made beforehand. The person was roy to make the bracha. So, over there, he was not fit to make the bracha. We're talking in a situation, like Rashi says, where Berayv, that the bracha, the tefillah was for a balkari. A balkari cannot make the bracha. The Takanas Ezra, that was noig at that time, that he can't make a bracha, he can't learn Torah until he's taiva. So therefore, he had no choice. He could not have made the bracha before. He should not have made a bracha before. He could not have, so he makes it afterwards. But so over here, the person should have made the bracha before eating. And therefore, since over here, and once it was the time to make the bracha was come and gone, he shouldn't have made the bracha. Now it's after the fact. He's lost the opportunity. He doesn't make the bracha anymore. Ton Rabbanan, asparagus. The Gemara is going to discuss now the different aspects of this type of beverage called asparagus that they used to have, which was made with wine and cabbage, or alternatively with beer and cabbage. We'll see in the Gemara the differences between the two types. So asparagus is yafel l'leiv v'tayv l'einayim. It's good for the heart and it's good for the eyes. And certainly it's good for the intestines. And if someone drinks it regularly, it's helpful for his whole body. But if he intoxicates himself with it, then it's harmful for his whole body. So since it says it's good for the heart, we must be talking about the asparagus that's made out of wine. And it says certainly it's good for the intestines. How can you say this asparagus, lilat, if it's good for la'at, that's an acronym for the lamed, is for leiv, ayin is a naim, and the tes is for tchol, for the spleen. So it's good for that. L'ramat, kasha, that's an acronym for the rush, for the head, me'ayim, and tachtanias for hemorrhoids, it's harmful. So you see over here that the asparagus, that it is harmful for the me'ayim, and previously you said that it is good for the me'ayim. He says, so how do we resolve that? More answers, there's a difference whether it's a miyushan or not. When we say when it's aged beyond the, Rashi says 3 years old, when it's aged beyond the normal time, then it has a beneficial effect, but otherwise it's harmful. It's not. If a person made a netter, he made a netter that he's not going to taste any wine, because the wine is harmful for b'nei me'ayim, so he wanted to make a netter to refrain from it because it was harming him b'nei me'ayim. And they said to him, they said if it's aged, then it's good for b'nei me'ayim. And he was quiet after that. Also b'chodesh and mutar b'miyushan, then he's also b'chodesh because non-aged wine that's not aged, it is harmful, so the neder is binding for that. But his mutter b'miyushan, it's mutter for the aged because his whole neder, the reason he made the neder, the underlying reasoning was that it's harmful for b'nei me'ayim, and miyushan is titled b'nei me'ayim, so therefore mutter b'miyushan. So Shema Mino, we see the difference between the aged or not aged wine. The Goyen takes out this also b'chodesh mutter b'miyushan. He's not goyers that. He says that it is not applicable over here. That his girsa is v'shalsak mutter b'miyushan, and it's mutter b'miyushan. The issue involved over here is that if it's a neter shehutra miksalsoi, hutra kuloi, and therefore if it doesn't apply, the neter is not binding for aged wine. If you say neter shehutra miksalsoi hutra kuloi, it should not apply for new wine either. So that's the gears of the guy. Tan Rabbanon, we're talking about asparagus. Tan Rabbanon Shisha Devorim Nemra Asparagus. Ein Shaisa Noisa El Kshu Chai. It has to be drunk, chai, not diluted. Umole. And it has to be full cup. Umakabla biyamin, you accept it from the person handing to you in your right hand, V'shaisayim is small, and then you drink it with your left hand. Vein Masichan Achrav. And you don't speak afterwards, you drink it without speaking, and you don't drink it in sips, you drink it in one gulp. Normally you don't drink in one gulp, here you do. You only return it to the person who gave it to you. And you have to spit after drinking it. You have to fortify yourself, you drink it, typically it's drunk on an empty stomach, you have to fortify yourself with food, you do it with a biminoi, so if it's made out of wine, you eat grapes. We learn in the Brisa that you have to eat bread afterwards. Our answer is there's a difference if it's made out of the shichra or made out of beer or made out of wine. So if it's made out of wine, then you support it, you fortify yourself with grapes. If it's with beer, you fortify yourself with bread. For a lot, we said it's yofe lamat kosher. But Tanya idach l'ramat yofe, and the other brisa says that for ramat it's yofe lamat kosher. Like kasha habedacham habed shichra. There's a difference between the chamra and shichra. So this second brisa is talking about beer. It says if he spits afterwards, he's like it. He gets afflicted with it. And that says just the opposite. Therefore, the one that we just said, if he doesn't spit afterwards, he gets afflicted. Then, if he doesn't, he gets afflicted. That harms him. So that's talking about beer, as we said. Therefore, he has to spit. Even if he's in front of the king, which is disrespectful, but it's a sakana. So it's sakana sefoshes, then he has to do it. He has to rock afilu lifnei melech. Yeah. Omar Shmuel ben Elisha shloisha devarim sachlis real sarapnim. He said to me three things. Al titel chalukha b'shachris mi'ayad hashamash v'tilbesh. Don't accept your garment from your servant, from your attendant. Don't accept the garment from his hand and put it on in the morning. V'al titel yadcha mimishulei notel yadav. And don't take the water to wash your hands from someone who himself he did not wash his hands. And don't return the kais asparagus, only return it to the person who gave it to you. Because these shadim, this group of shadim are Vamila Isgalnis, this other group called Isgalnis, Shel Malachi Chavalim, it's Hapim Lodem, they wait for the person. When a person comes to my hands who is violated one of these things, then I'll be able to ensnare him, to capture him. The Malach told me three things. Like we said before. So this is a new one that we didn't mention before, a new Point. When they're coming back from the levaya, from the maze, don't stand in front of the women. Because the Malach Mova says, I'm dancing before them. And I have my sword. My sword is in my hand. And I have permission to harm person who is in that situation. The Pogaba might takonta, if he does encounter the women coming back from the mess, what's the takana? Linsha miduchte should jump from his place arba amas, 4 amas, ikan nahar lavra. If there's a river, he should cross over to the other side. The ikadarcha chrina lezelbo, if there's another path, he should go on the other path. The ika guda lekachora, if there's a wall, he should go behind the wall. The loy, if he has none of these options available to him, then he should turn his head away until they pass away, they pass before him, and then he should then continue on his way. Coming now to the Koshel Bracha. So when you bench on the Koshel Bracha. There's 10 halachas that are mentioned by the Koshel Bracha, Tzon, Hadochu, Shtifa. The Gemara will explain each one of these. The list is, it needs Hadoch, Shtifa, washing, we'll see particulars shortly. Chai, it's undiluted. Moli, it's full. Itur, it is crowned. V'ituf, it's covered. Noitel b'shtei yadav, so we'll see what that means. Noitel b'shtei yadav, he accepts it with 2 hands. B'shtei yadav v'nois b'yamin, and then he holds it in his right hand. And when he's about benching, Magvim and Akarka Tefach, he lifts it a Tefach above the table. V'noisim ein above, and he looks inside. Some say he also afterwards sends from the Koitz Bracha Tachi Basin. We have only 4 that are Nageya. The 4 that are Nageya are Hadoch, Shtifa, Chai, Umole. These are the 4 that are Nageya. So there's different opinions in Rishonim. Doesn't mean, like Ram says, that these are the only 4 that are Lahalacha. The rest we do not paskin Lahalacha. Or the Ritva says that these are the 4 that were makbid on. All are Nageya, but the ones that are Ma'akev, these are the 4 that are Ma'akev. There's other opinions in the Shainim as well, but these are the main approaches. Tana Hadocha, so now explaining what does this mean? Tana Hadocha mivifnim. Hadocha means washing it from the inside, V'shtifa mibachutz. And Shtifa means rinsing it from the outside. So it means washing it inside and outside. And that's what it means. The Taisa says that Shtifa Michutz Hadocha Mifnim, that Taisa says only is Nageya when the kais is dirty, is when there's something in the cup, it's not clean, or some remnants from the previous use of it. That's when it's Nageya. If a person makes a kais bracha kais moli, if his kais moli is full, then his inheritance will also be without mitzarim, without borders. It'll also be moli. Shenemar umoli b'chas Hashem yam v'darim yerasha. So the b'chas Hashem, the kaisel bracha is moli yam. There'll be east and west, north and south. He'll have no limitations. Rav Yosef Baruch Hanina Omer Zeicha Neichel Shnei Olam. He is Zeicha for 2 worlds. Ituf. What is Ituf? Rav Papa Atev Yosef. Rav Papa would wrap himself in a cloak and sit down to bench. Rav Asi pour a sudra al reisha. He would put a sudra on his head. Par sudra al reisha. So this is the basis of the halacha was brought down in Mishnah Brura that a person by benching wears a jacket, wears a hat and jacket. This is the makor, that this is the ituf. Noitel b'shtei yadav. He takes it in his 2 hands. Amarav Chenin bar Papa Mikro. What's the pasuk that shows us that? It says, Su yadechem kodesh u'baruchas Hashem. It says, Su yadechem kodesh, Su yadechem, lift it up and bench Hashem.